Clay bells ring. Are you listening to the Clayanna as she's glistening? Because Clayanna got a lot to say after last night's episode of Basketball Wives. Want to talk about it? Well, was it last night? It wasn't really last night, but the night before last. You know what I'm saying? Well, you listening? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Because she got some things to get off of her chest, okay? She got some things to get off of her chesticles, all right? So shout out to our friends over at the Reality Chat. Make sure you guys are following them on the Instagram. These are, depending on when you watch this, these are also up on her Instagram stories as well, okay? Miss Clay Clay, okay? Clay, if you're nasty, all right? Miss Clay, if you're nasty. All right, so she says, these edits are insane. It's like I'm not watching the same show, but we're going to get all the way into it, all right? So this is as a result of her getting her wig snatched on Basketball Wives, for those of you guys who may not have seen it, all right? Now, Clayanna then says this: since when does saying you're neutral and staying out of everything and staying of everything to my face, then do some sneaky sucker-ish like snatching a clip-in wig with only 3 clips that a baby could pull off, make you tough? I mean, in my mind, wouldn't you want to put more clips in there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is a 3-clip wig built to last all night long? All night long, all night, all night long, all night. Maybe she didn't intend to have it on all night long. You know, maybe she intended for the strippers to be, doing a little dance and doing a little jig on her. You know what I'm saying? And maybe she was gonna whip it off and whip it around like a helicopter too. Meanwhile, she says straight scary ass coward move. When I was literally standing next to you 3 minutes prior to, and you were scared to death of me to actually square up. So you had to do some sneak-ish, but still never actually laid hands on me, not once. See, this is a little different from my remembrance of the scene, because in my remembrance of the scene, it appeared as though Evelyn actually confronted her about pointing at Jennifer, and the next thing we know, Clay went running over to Brit to tell her what was going on versus saying something to Evelyn in the moment, right? I mean, it seemed like, I don't know, maybe was I watching something different? Did she know something I didn't know? Because that was the opportunity right there for you for you to square back up at her, right? Anyway, she says, but still never actually laid hands on me, not once. But I for sure hooked off. So are you saying that you got a lick in? Because you said you hooked off. And who did you get a lick off on? Did you get a lick off on Jennifer? Because it seemed like to me you was just standing over top of her. I got questions. Anyway, she says, so you walk away with the clip-in wig. You want to fight? It took how many security guards to get me up off of her? Yeah, that part. Now, Clay, if I did not see the prior scene of you getting carted off by the security with not a nay lick thrown, I might be inclined to believe that what you say is true. Now, I ain't saying you're lying. I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm just saying it's questionable, right? Because we've also seen you get carted off by the security guards before. Okay. Just about the night before, right? Anyway, she says, coward move. She wanted no real parts. Scary ASS. I'm around in real life, not some stage reality TV BS. What's up? I told y'all earlier in my review, I felt like I said Clayanna knows, she knows what game she's playing. She just don't know how to play the long game, okay? Meanwhile, in real life, as she says, looking for a moment when you return, but no one is checking for you. Was that your big one? Trying to use me to stay relevant? That might be a little bit of a reach, Clay. Anyway, she says, trying to use me to stay relevant because my name was louder than yours all season. Trust me, not intentionally. Was it? Anyway, she says, but never had any energy towards me to my face to face. We all know how heavily edited my hotel room scene was. She left my room on some peaceful, neutral BS. I see the show when everyone else does. So of course I never heard her ish talking behind my back. I would have had the same energy for her as anyone else. Oh, mind y'all, we were all told we would be fired if any of us did anything prior to leaving for Arizona. Yet, clearly, there were two sets of rules. She didn't swing not once, just prayed to God for enough security guards to grab me and save her ASS, and then snatch your wig. Now, in my mind, I'm like, were you trying to fight Jennifer or were you trying to fight Evelyn? Like, I guess I'm confused. So anyway, Clayanna is dragging Evelyn. Um, for those of you guys who care, I mean, I think Clayanna is a spitfire. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that she's feisty, right? If she could have contained that level of feistiness versus taking off her shoes and trying to run up on everybody, she could have been a force to be reckoned with because we could have gotten a chance to know her more. But we've only known her in anger, so it's just difficult for me. It's just difficult. Anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all that. Baby, the next thing that we got to talk about, next thing we got to talk about is this recap with Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly. Now, let me just give you guys a disclaimer for those of you guys who are going to get in the chat and say some of the things that when I do my review on Married to Medicine, I like to get my review done before I watch anybody else's review. So before I watch Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly recap it, I like to give my own 2 cents based on what I see in the episode, because I also don't always want to know what's going on behind the scenes, right? When I give you guys my review, I use the days afterwards to really start to quell and gather all of the intel that has come out from all the lives and the tweets and whatnot, and then give you the aftermath and my thoughts on the aftermath so that I'm giving you two separate accounts: my fresh take upon watching the show, and then my gathered research upon gathering said research, right? So at this point, we are in the gathering of the research and the behind the scenes antics and shenanigans that go on with Married to Medicine, which, in case you guys don't know, is the best show on Bravo. I said it in my review. Bravo needs to switch the order of Married to Medicine and Potomac and put Married to Medicine on first. It is the better show. It is far superior at this point. It is more entertaining. And the ladies on Married to Medicine know how to deliver a good show. Period. Okay? Having said that, let's get into the tea because it is messy. Okay? All right. So Dr. Heavenly said that the producers actually spared Sweet Tea in that scene where Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly were out for drinks, drinking that Patron shots. I honestly knew when I saw Sweet Tea taking them shots. I said, this is not gonna do any this is not gonna do her any favors. Okay, not gonna do her any favors. She was talking about Dr. G being controlling, and there was more to the scene that was said about their relationship that was not shown, which now informs us about why Dr. Heavenly was so adamant about feeling like they were rushing into this marriage. See, again, this helps me when I'm watching the show. I want to have my full reaction to what I'm seeing as if it's happening in real life, right? We know it's a show. We know certain things production is going to have them do, but I think it's more fun to review it as it's actually happening and then get the breakdown, right? So that's why I always try to post my live before they go live so that I can talk through everything that I need to talk through without having the knowledge that comes after watching them, right? So, Carlos says that Sweet Tea has had more of an impact on these first few episodes than Phaedra has had being on the show. And I want to know if you guys agree with that. Phaedra has been definitely good for for making some drama happen with bringing quiet to the Ponderosa, but and of course her one-liners. But Sweet Tea has definitely been the focal point of these first few episodes, right? All right. Carlos also reasons that Dr. G has a high level of immaturity, and that's why he's with someone who's in her early 30s because he also could not handle the quad. I'm inclined to maybe believe that be the case because I also feel like maybe with dating someone younger, he could also assert more control in the situation and not get the blowback that someone who is maybe a bit more seasoned and independent would actually give him, right? Anyway, something apparently happened. Oh, this was good right here. Okay, definitely listen. Make sure y'all watch it because the actual review is hilarious. But y'all know I got to pull out the highlights for me, and we got to break these things down. So apparently, we knew that Sweet Tea had joined Dr. Heavenly University, right? That has been well documented. I think even Sweet Tea mentioned it when she was on Dr. Heavenly's YouTube page when we were first getting to know her. And apparently, something crazy happened when she was on the Zoom because they do the Zoom calls. And apparently, Dr. G was in the background chastising her while she was on the Zoom, talking about, I'm breaking my back for you and your sister. I'm bending over backwards. So, later on, Dr. Heavenly will mention something to the effect that their relationship being symbiotic and how Sweet Tea allegedly may have been looking, and again, let me put the alleged badge up here, may have been looking for someone to help her and her family, do a little bit of a come up. You know what I'm saying? So if he's in fact bending over backwards for T and the sister, as Dr. Heavenly asserts that he said in the Zoom, which is likely still exists somewhere in the cabinets and recesses of Dr. Heavenly University, then hmm, that's embarrassing. Um, and it also again fits in with this notion of Sweet Tea saying, although she says it was a joke, get a little access to the money, get a little access to the money. It just furthers this notion that she was looking for, and I'm not saying this is wrong because again, if both parties are getting what they need in the situation, I feel like go for it, baby. But maybe she did want somebody that can provide that level of financial security. You know what I'm saying? That maybe she had not experienced, or maybe she had experienced, because she did tell us in the episode that she was already in the game of dating older men, right? Anyway, that was interesting to me. I thought that was real interesting. If you watched it, did you guys catch that part? Um, there's a question that keeps coming up about whether or not Dr. Heavenly was a fake friend. Dr. Heavenly says she met her, at Dr. Jackie's event, recommended her for the show, as she does with a lot of different people, but also told her they're going to scrutinize your relationship. And Dr. Heavenly wonders why Dr. G did not, you know, give her the blueprint for how to do this show, right? She does think that they love each other, and she said that she she felt like Sweet Tea met him in a Facebook group for people who want to date older men looking for money, maybe. And one of the friends said, "This is the guy from Married to Medicine, and we're gonna reach out to him." And again, she says it's a symbiotic relationship because a lot of people think that doctors are rich. So when that statement was made last night, I had to press pause and I had to, I just started looking up salaries and stuff like that. Let me just say that. And it's interesting that, all not all doctors are that rich in term, but it also depends on what you call rich, right? Rich to one person may not be rich to another, right? So it's all relative when you really look at it. Now, I suppose if let's say you making $20,000 and you get with somebody who's making $70,000, that may feel rich to you, right? That may feel rich. I mean, it's all about your point of perception. Anyway, Carlos felt like T wanted Quad's life and that she found out over the Quad. Now, he asked Dr. Heavenly, what was Sweet T's reaction to meeting Quad? And Dr. Heavenly said, he right. She fanned out. Hey, Quad, come sit by me, Quad. And that's why they called her sister wives. And apparently, when she did show up, Toya was pissed, okay? Because before that, Sweet Tea was having the meltdown, the nervous breakdown, as Dr. Heavenly say, and was trying to fight her sister. Now, apparently, during this moment, she had a little drinky drink too. You know what I'm saying? Which we did not know. But I guess now we could reasonably assume, and putting two and two together, that might be why the blow up was so big. I try to tell people all the time, that's why I got a 2-drink maximum, okay? You're not gonna get more than you might. Never mind. Let me not tell that story. But I know the point at which to stop drinking, right? I just know it. It's just embedded in my body right now. My body will say nope, no, you don't. Okay. Anyway, so apparently, also, what we did not know was that Sweet Tea had also allegedly called Dr. G on the phone after Johnny's phone call about that $14,000, for which we have learned that the wedding was actually budgeted at $10,000. So no wonder old girl was hooting and hollering at the hootenanny, because the wedding was now double what it was actually supposed to be budgeted for. Now, Mr. Johnny, we got to pull you to the carpet for that one. How in the world did we get that far? Because Dr. Heavenly said Phaedra said her cake cost about $10,000. Okay. That was her cake alone. Alone, babes. Alone. So can you imagine? You got the budget over here, mind you, $10,000, for which production is also throwing in some things for, okay? So Beef Wellington by Bravo, okay? Beef Wellington by Bravo. Hashtag blessed. So, allegedly, according to Dr. Heavenly. I told y'all this was something else, baby. I know I'm so excited they do this they're gonna be doing this every Monday. I am so excited and I just cannot hide it. I want to. I want to. Anyway, so at that point, things were so bad, Dr. Jackie started to try to take around a collection plate. Now, meanwhile, Quad telling T, well, girl, he had the money when he was with me. Quad, that ain't gonna help her. You know what I mean? You gonna give us some money? You gonna give a little access to your money? You gonna give a little access to your money, Quad? Anyway, so at then, T allegedly said to somebody out loud, girl, I'm gonna get my behind whipped. By who? Have to say, what? Who gonna beat your behind? Not Dr. G and his high talking self? No. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Maybe she was just meaning that metaphorically speaking, like he was gonna lay the verbal smackdown. I think that's probably more or less what she was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he gonna get me when I get home. Like he gonna give me a high pitched verbal tongue lashing. You know, something like that maybe, or whatever like that. Dr. G, don't mind me. I'm just jokes, allegedly. Anyway, Phaedra then had to tell a girl, don't say that. Not on camera. Okay. Again, allegedly, according to Dr. Heavenly. Now, that not on camera part, I added in there. I did put a little stank on it. I admit, I put some salt, pepper, hot sauce, a little paprika, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of blackening seasoning. And, you know, I marinated that thing and cooking like a 65-year-old. But anyway, Phaedra did say, well, girl, don't say that. Okay. So then the friend, I guess the maid of honor maybe, ends up telling Dr. Heavenly, you did T wrong by getting her drunk, okay? And then spilling all the tea. Now I don't know if she's referring to that maybe that day when they was at the bar at the Ponderosa bar when Sweet Tea had the cowgirl hat on, aka the sombrero, like Dr. Heavenly said. And so anyway, Dr. Heavenly says her family is maybe looking at her, allegedly, like she is the one that is going to get them out of the ghetto. I mean, listen, again, that was what was said. Did she mean ghetto? No, I don't think she meant ghetto. I think that she just meant like, you know, it's going to be like a nice situation to find, you know, to see somebody in the family with a doctor and maybe something like that. I don't know. Lord, the girl will never come on my my YouTube channel to do an interview with this at this point. She's not going to come. I tried. I failed. Oh well. What do you do? Anyway, meanwhile, side note, Quad is outside hearing the nervous breakdown, okay, allegedly. So we also learn, as many of you guys commented, I asked in my recap, was the butler there at Phaedra's when Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie stopped by? Yes, the butler was there. He just wasn't shown in the episode. All right. They did speak about Dr. O, the emoji-faced doctor that Phaedra was allegedly dating, who allegedly would not sign the release, who we will likely never see. Anyway, but you know, now Phaedra does the Reiki. So why be married to a doctor when you can be a healer, okay, of the Reiki? Anyway, so then Carlos points out something that I did not math about, okay? I didn't math this math the night that I saw it, but now that I'm mathing it, it ain't mathing. Phaedra says she met Apollo when she was in the 12th grade. If Apollo is 5 years younger than Phaedra, then that means if Fedra was in the 12th grade, subtract 5, mock, yeah, yeah, he was in the 7th grade. The middle school, if you will. So what was she doing? Was she ditching homeroom? Like, what, like, I'm trying to figure out, help me. Because they was trying to figure it out themselves. And, you know, Dr. Heaven said, Phaedra don't care what she be saying. She just be, you know, saying stuff and just, you know, just getting away with it. You know what I mean? And this probably, who knows if they met when she was in the 12th grade, or maybe he was in the 12th grade. Maybe there was no grading at all. Maybe they met on on the dance floor. She said, you dance like a 12th grader. You dance like a 7th grader. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just work here. Meanwhile, Dr. Heavenly getting uninvited. Okay, let's talk about it. She says, you know, what was going through her mind. She laughed, you know, that laugh Dr. Heavenly do. I love it. It tickles me every time. And they did ambush her, okay? But she felt like Toya had to know, because Toya has so much joy at the fact that she won't on the list. Like, oh, girl, I can't believe you ain't on that list. You sure? Check again. You sure she not on the list? And finally, Eugene was like, come on, girl. So she was like, I was cool with not being on the guest list, even though I had, you know, went and done Alora's stuff with her prom. She was like, but the producers was begging and a pleading, like Brandy say. And they said, Heavenly, you can't leave. We can't do this scene without you or whatever like that. So they did bring her in late. And she said it was the quickest wedding she ever did see. And if anyone there, if she had made it to the point where they were saying if anybody here objects, she said she was gonna stand up. Now that would have been a scene right there. But she didn't get to that part. Now, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and I want you to hear me what I say. Based on what we got from Dr. Heavenly, or what they at least showed of Dr. Heavenly, and the short interaction that they played while the credits were rolling, I wonder if it would have created more drama had Heavenly never been brought back in. Because think about what she would have done and reacted, how she would have reacted the next time she saw not Quad, T, or Dr. G, and how the rest of the group would have been talking about her being disinvited, and that would have been a thing too. So that's why I was like, I don't know if that was the best idea to bring her back in for the sake of drama, but you know what I mean? I feel like the way this show goes, they do like to keep the cast mixed in together for the maximum amount of magic that they do together. So it does kind of make sense. But I also think that it could have been a dramatic thing if they did not pull her back in. But when you think about it, that's kind of disrespectful to Sweet Tea. If production is going to bring the lady back in, because Dr. Heavenly said, I was uninvited by T, but I was invited by B. And that's Bravo. Mic drop. I was like, she was invited by the folks that mattered. Not to say T don't matter and Dr. G don't matter, but it sounds like it was Beef Wellington by Bravo. So, allegedly. Meanwhile, Dr. Heavenly said production paid for the food. The chairs look like they came from Party City. It was 200 chairs, but it won't that many people, so I had to push the people up. It was about 84 people there. They was taking flowers from the ceremony to the reception. She didn't even remember seeing a wedding cake. And all I got to say is, Johnny on the spot. What is going on? What in the Johnny is going on? Johnny, ain't these now? I can't. Why was Candy going off on Johnny? Sound like T might need to go off on your Candy style. Meanwhile, apparently, also somebody put in the chat that on Fedra's live, Dr. G said Sweet Tea needed the extra income, and that's why she's on the show. I mean, listen. As Dr. Heavenly stated, I'm not mad at the extra income. I'll get give me a little access to the money. Give me a little more access to the money. I'll do it too. Won't go on a reality show if I'm just getting married. I tell you that. Anyway, Dr. Heavenly says in converse, Dr. G never even actually knew how much Quad was making from the show until the divorce. And during that divorce, she took everything in the home that she liked, including the bed. Oh yes, Quad took it all. Quad takes it all. Miss Quad, she got it. I guess she do got it now. She done got everything in that house. Dr. Heavenly does think that Sweet Tea's money is going into the joint account. Dr. G's probably learned from the lunchbox and said, you know what? We're in the money. I got mine and I got yours too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? But all of these things are alleged, actually. Your life is alleged. My life is alleged. Dr. Heavenly, everybody's alleged. So I feel safe in that knowledge. Let me know what you guys think about this particular recap. Baby, Married to Medicine is the show. It is the show. It needs to come on at the 8 o'clock. But I tell you one thing. If they did switch the time, I don't know if I'll be watching Potomac this season, whether Juan Dixon was there or not.